Hello, I'm Juliana Hever, the plant-based dietitian, and this is the What Would Juliana Do Q&A. Today, I wanted to talk about notable nutrients. These are the nutrients that one needs to be mindful of when eating a whole food plant-based diet. There are 5 micronutrients and 1 macronutrient in this category. First and foremost is vitamin B12. If you're on a plant-based diet, it is hard to get adequate B12. You may be able to find it in fortified foods, but because it's not reliable and because B12 is so important, I highly recommend supplementing with vitamin B12 on a very regular basis. Second nutrient is vitamin D. This is different than B12. Vitamin D is known as the sunshine vitamin. It's also a prohormone. And what happens is we go out into the sun and expose our skin, and the UVB radiation penetrates our skin, and the vitamin D goes into our liver and kidneys and becomes activated, and then we use it in our body. Now, there's so many different interesting reasons why people are tending to be on the low side of vitamin D in terms of their serum. Some reasons include the latitude where you live, the temperature, how much sun you get, fat, excess fat on the skin can inhibit absorption of vitamin D. So it's something very interesting, but it's not like B12, which is a water-soluble nutrient and you can't really overdose on it. It's hard to. I don't know if there's many cases of overdose with B12, but vitamin D, unlikely, is more risky because it is a fat-soluble nutrient. So I don't recommend supplementing blindly with vitamin D. Instead, I recommend, or I have my clients going to get their vitamin D tested and then supplementing accordingly, or using sun therapy. You can use sun therapy sometimes if you're in the appropriate environment in terms of latitude and sun exposure and fog and smog and all those other things. You go outside, you expose your skin midday. You don't want to get pink, so just a mild little amount of time until you get a little bit of sun, and then you could check your serum levels again. But it's something to be mindful of. The third micronutrient, the last vitamin, is vitamin K2. Now, we get plenty of K1 on a plant-based diet from a form called phyloquinone. So phyloquinone or phyloquinone is found in leafy green vegetables. And if you're eating plenty of leafy green vegetables, which I hope you are getting vitamin K1. It turns out that we also need vitamin K2 because K2, which is menaquinone, is very important for the cardiovascular system. So you can get it from things like natto, like fermented foods like natto or sauerkraut sometimes, but sometimes you may want to consider a supplement as well because it is that important. We're learning more and more about this vitamin all the time. The 2 minerals that you need to be mindful of are, one is iodine. Interestingly, they iodize salt. They put iodine into the salt many years ago to prevent iodine deficiency. But what's happening now? People are instead opting for fancy salts, Himalayan pink salt and black salt and all these different salts, and they're not getting the actual iodized version. So we're seeing iodine as a potential deficiency issue. Or there's also people that are just not consuming salt at all because of high blood pressure or other reasons. So if you're not consuming salt, you may consider a iodine supplement. You can get it from sea vegetables, although some sea vegetables have way too much. So you need to be a little cautious of that. An average adult needs about 150 micrograms a day. So again, something to consider in a supplement. The last mineral and micronutrient of the bunch is zinc. Zinc you can get from beans, legumes, and nuts and seeds, but it does tend to fall short on a plant-based diet. So, be mindful and consume your 6 daily threes. So that's where you're getting your legumes. You're getting plenty of that nutrient from legumes and nuts and seeds, but also be mindful of zinc. We need zinc for immunity, which is quite important, especially right now, and other reasons that zinc plays all these different roles in the body that is very, very important. The final nutrient that is a notable nutrient on a plant-based diet is the only macronutrient, and it is the long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. Now, it's a little complicated and quite interesting. We consume, on a plant-based diet, we consume omega-3 fatty acids, which is an essential fat, unlike saturated fat, unlike monounsaturated fat. Omega-3s are essential, meaning we need to get them from our diet. So we get them on a plant-based diet from ALA. The form is alpha-linolenic acid. We get this in walnuts and chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, soy foods like tofu has some, and even leafy greens have some. But what happens is our body has to elongate the ALA into EPA and then further elongate it into another form called DHA, which you've probably all heard of. All these different forms and these intermediate forms in between also, we need them for different reasons in the body. So vegans, people that don't eat any animal products, tend to have lower serum levels of the longer chain EPA and DHA. Doesn't matter, we don't really know. Vegans also tend to have a decreased risk for cardiovascular disease and possibly Alzheimer's disease, which are two processes that are kind of linked to these omega-3 fatty acids. So it doesn't matter, we don't know. I have followed suit with my colleagues, and I do recommend to my clients a microalgae supplement of EPA and DHA. Nowadays, there are plenty of them on the market, so it's easy to find. You want to get one with both EPA and DHA and supplement accordingly if you choose to do so. So I hope that helps answer your questions. Please keep them coming. Leave me messages below or via direct message or on my website, plantbaseddietitian.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.